Hey guys, thanks so much and welcome to the Game Your Future podcast. I'm Daniel here helping you guys reach your full potential through gaming. And today I have a very fun and very special guest for you. This is Frank the Wizard. Frank is a co-owner of Big Guava Gamers in the Tampa Bay area. Big gamer and Magic the Gathering fan. So Frank, thanks so much and welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I feel more than welcome here.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And so love the outfit too. So for those only on audio, you're missing out. It's quite the treat. So Frank the Wizard came in attire. Love it. So tell us a little bit about kind of the journey of Frank the Wizard. How did you come by that title? And then we can launch into kind of the Big Guava Gamers and what that's about.
Oh gosh. It originally started from Dungeons and Dragons. Playing Dungeons and Dragons, I rolled a fascinating character that was a wizard. And throughout our gaming sessions and me telling the tales of my adventures to all my other friends outside of the game, it kind of just stuck. Everyone started just calling me Frank less and the wizard more. And I'm definitely not complaining. I've always loved wizards, so this it's been super cool.
So very fitting, right, with the Wizards of the Coast. I'll do it. Magic the Gathering, right, which is definitely something that I've noticed that you're into as far as the. So tell us a little bit about Big Guava Gamers because I know at least a YouTube channel, right, and has Magic the Gathering content, right. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So Big Guava Gamers is not just a YouTube channel, but we are in the production of everything when it comes to CEDH, which is the competitive form of Elder Dragon Highlander, which is more referred to as Commander. So competitive Commander, it's a separate format in Magic the Gathering where the player chooses a legendary creature and then has to build their deck using the colors within the color identity of said legendary creature. And it is a singleton format, meaning you can only have one card of the same name, unless the card is ruled otherwise, within your deck of 99 cards, 100 in total when you consider your commander. We started running tournaments just this year at Oblivion Games here in Tampa, Florida. We are a all residents of Tampa, and that is actually the main reason why we're called the Big Guava Gamers. A little bit of history. That's one of the nicknames for Tampa. Just like how New York is known as the Big Apple, Big Guava is the nickname for Tampa. So we decided to roll with it to build our competitive commander community here in the Bay Area. Seems like there's just been a lacking of it, and we're looking to fill that space in everyone's hearts and brains.
I love that. Yes, yeah, just having like kind of that local gamer community too, because I think there's something to be said for like multiplayer online that you can kind of play anywhere, but especially for something like tabletop, like Magic is just being able to get local, whether it's local game stores and just local outlets, just to be able to play with people and just build a community around that. So cool, so fun. So I'll say kudos to you for setting that up.
Oh yeah, it's been such a trip. We had our first tournament, which our goal was 32 players. We had 40 signups, and we ended up having 34 players. So we technically went over by two. Not a problem. More the merrier. We had nothing but just positive compliments from the community who came by. Everyone who participated in the tournament just said what a remarkable job we did, especially for our first time. Everyone had such a fun yet competitive opportunity to go for the goal. Our friend Taylor, he is another whiz here with us who is a master of the 3D printer. He creates our custom trophies, which you can kind of see here in the back. I can
Oh,
definitely go pick it
very
up, yeah, and show you guys for sure. But I was able to win myself one not too long ago.
nice. Fantastic. Yeah, that's just so cool. Just having kind of the reward system behind it too. That's just so cool. So very on brand for gamers, right? So just having that sense of progression to the end to trophy and all that. So one of the things I wanted to absolutely talk about for this particular podcast is around that sense of community, right? Because one of the big things I think that gaming brings to people everywhere, like I come from like my background, what I'm trying to do is really about gaming and using it as a skill set, right? So we talk about things like problem solving and resilience and just being able to kind of utilize your gaming in other forums. And one of the things that we haven't talked too much on this channel, on this podcast, is really around the just the community of it, just kind of really just hanging out, just connecting with people. And so I love what you're doing on that local Tampa scene and creating a community around that. So I wanted to dive a little bit more into that as far as how that came about, and especially those that are interested, whether what to look for when joining kind of a local community, or if they're trying to start one on their own, right? So let's start with just kind of like what kind of what you were going for there and how people could even potentially model that or what to look for.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I'd like to be completely transparent when it comes to my involvement of the beginning of the community portion of all of this. That credit has to go to the one and only Maui, aka Papa Guava. The first thing we ever did on the Big Guava Gamers podcast was interviewing Maui. Maui is the creator of the Tampa Bay CEDH Discord. That was Maui's first step into creating this wonderful competitive community that we have here in our city. And from there, we started hosting our little tournaments just for our friends mainly and our friends in the Discord. We kept it small. However, to keep it exciting, we had a small little entry fee that we pulled up for a prize at the end, you know, so the winner would get a trophy, the winner would get some money. Our top other players would also get a little something as well. And it was a really good time. But it was, I'll never forget this day. It wasn't until Maui reached out to the entire chat and he goes, guys, we have an opportunity to host one of our fun tournaments at Oblivion Games in the game store here in Tampa. And the moment he messaged that, I know that everyone else in that chat had the same idea. It's like, let's open this up. I bet there are tons of people who would want to play with us, against us, everything to just have tons of fun. Because, you know, that's one thing that we all continue talking about just in our little social circles is in Tampa Bay specifically, there has been a lack of competitive commander tournaments, like really nice, solid scene of tournaments that happens consistently, whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, everything like that. So we said, shoot, let's go for it. And man, it's just started everything that we have done now today and everything we're going to do in the future.
That's awesome. So what it really sounds like too is between yourself and Maui and them, that really identifying that gap, right? So it sounds like there was this gap in the market, especially in the Tampa area, where you're like, we can fill that space, we can fill that role, right? And so I think that's something important that when we're looking at the kind of setting up kind of new ventures or new things that we're trying to do, this works in business as well for those that are trying to start something on their own. It's really trying to find, not only, something that you want to do, because I would definitely say that, like people say like follow your passions. I'm like, yes, follow your passions. Can it make money? That's probably the second question if that's what you're into, or like what is the goal? But then the next level down is like, okay, do people need it or want it? Right. And that's where you have to kind of do that market research to say like, where is that hole? Where is that space? So I'll say fantastic that kind of fills that hole in the Tampa area where you're like, there's just no competitive EDH. There's no competitive magic. Like what's going on? So very cool.
Yeah, it definitely started off just for the community, and let me tell you, that's still the driving force behind it. The blood that pumps the heart for the Big Guava Gamers is community first, no matter what. I cannot specify that enough that the biggest driving force of everything we do at the end of the day is for community for sure. We love Magic the Gathering. We love the competitive commander format, and we just want to keep building this scene not only here in Tampa, but spread out in other locations in Florida as well. If we're doing something that people are having fun at and want to keep coming to it, it's our obligation to produce. Who am I to turn down smiles and a good time?
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, and that sense of community and that sense of belonging is just so powerful too. Just kind of I think in this era that there's just so much online and so much digital that being able to come together is just so crucial, I think, now that people are looking for that too. So awesome that you're doing that. So I wanted to ask also on kind of the competitive scene versus kind of the I'll say the casual. right? So there's kind of this yeah, balance I guess you have to do with competitive because at some point like people get maybe a little heated about it. So how do you compete? How do you have it competitive, and including like prizes and money and all this kind of thing, but then not get kind of that overheated, kind of overstimulated to the point of throwing hands, right? So how do we how do we make sure that we're not getting that and we're keeping it safe and we're keeping it fun for everybody? Like, so how does that balance work for you?
Oh man, excellent question for sure. Because I'm sure we've all seen the crash out videos of competitive gaming.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I will say
Heard
this.
stories.
I will say this. One of the beautiful things about our community is that everyone is passionate, but also everyone understands their own accountability for their own emotions and the way they react. However, in these exciting, high stakes, high tension situations, we're human. Some people completely calm. It's just another Tuesday or just another Saturday for them, whatever. Other people sweating bullets. The heart is racing. This is it. I want the prize. I want the glory. I want it all. I've worked all day, hours and hours of competing against strong opponents, and here I am at the final table. And if I don't do everything perfectly, I'm not going to get what I want out of this, which is to be number one. So I guess the main thing that we have in place for this is our wonderful judge system. We have some excellent, awesome, amazing people who have volunteered their free time to learn and understand not only the rulings of Magic the Gathering, but how to handle these tricky social situations. These judges stay in contact with one another. They discuss how they have handled situations like this in the past to not only network to learn more, but also just to improve the community overall. It's like a sub community in the sense. The judges have their own community within the Magic community, and each and every judge has their own unique way of handling the situation, but there definitely is a guide and a bit of a understanding of what they can and can't do. And players can also, in some situations, vote against the ruling of a judge, but it's just depending on the situations. Like, let's just say somebody truly made just an honest accident. No other information has been presented to the table. No one's going to get any advantage from this if this individual takes it back. He's looking to do so. The judge says, "No, we're going to have to cost you a turn to make this fair." I've seen some times where three other players are just like, "It's okay. Let's just let them just take it back. Things are good." And that speaks volumes for our community because everyone wants to win, everyone wants to prize. Technically, giving your opponents a disadvantage is just more advantage for you. But the fact that I've seen players just go, it's quite all right. This game is complicated, and at this level of play and at time of day,
Yeah.
these things happen. So it's fascinating, but to answer your question short and sweet, I would have to say our judges are fail safe when it comes to that kind of situation.
Wow, that's and what's
Yes.
really interesting about that too is that because I think most people would hear that and probably have a similar reaction myself and be like, oh, well, I mean the judges are there to keep things fair and honest, so like almost glorified, rules lawyers at that point. And you're like, and it's like, oh, they actually are people too. Oh yeah, I guess so. Now that you say it that way, it's like, okay, like it makes complete sense. But like, yeah, from the first cut at it, you're like, well, they're just there to police them, right? But that's fantastic that they go beyond that. Is what you're saying is that they're not just rules lawyers, right? They're there to help promote that sense of fun and community and keeping it as lighthearted as they can when there's these kind of heated moments, right?
Absolutely. The judges' roles are not so much to be the police or rules lawyers or rule lawyers of our game, of our format, but meant to guide the players in how we should be resolving these complicated situations. And when you place a level of authority on one person over the four other people, it just streamlines the situation. A judge's call is a judge's call. Depending on the situation, if the players wish to vote against it, it's entirely up to the table. Who is the judge to say? Depending on certain situations, of course, like, all right, sure, if that's what you guys want to do, be my guest. But at the end of the day, it's the judge's call. The judges are highly respected in our community. That's always going to be a thing. We thank our judges all the time for volunteering their lives to learning this game in order for us to build these communities upon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Our judges are there to make this as fun, but also as fair as possible with a proper sense of justice.
Gotcha. And so for those that are interested, so I'm and I'll talk to myself, so not necessarily competitive EDH, but like having played like a little bit of casual Commander. And so you'll have to forgive me on terminology and kind of new-ish to this myself. So when you say competitive EDH, again, this is probably a question for me, maybe the community knows. At what level, or I understand there's brackets. So is competitive mean only bracket five, like the highest of the high, or is there tournaments for kind of the lower brackets if there were?
There are tournaments for the other brackets, but some of those brackets would be considered casual. So, I mean, at that point, you are running a low-powered tournament, which, I guess the mentality isn't casual, but the cards and decks that would be played would be considered casual. Like bracket one and bracket two are highly, highly driven on intent. The intent is to build a casual, fun deck. Brackets, three is your, and four are your midway, high power decks. Where, yeah, you can still be creative with it for sure. But, we're running more powerful cards, not a bunch of powerful cards, but a few powerful cards. And bracket five is top of the top, where we're not supporting creativity. We definitely want people to push the competitive format as far as it can go. I've seen a lot of unique decks that are not hitting the top 16 or top anything just come out of the blue, and because they're not known in the format, they win. You have a pilot who has tons of experience, know what they're doing, familiarity with the deck against people who have no idea what you're putting on the table. They're bound to lose. Most of the time,
Yeah.
they're bound to lose. But, also at the end of the day, not every super creative idea is going to push. In our format, the tyrant is known as Blue Farm. It's a combination of two commanders that have a ruling that state. They're partners, so you can have two instead of just the one. Out of all the five colors of magic, they're missing one color, which is green. So the Blue Farm deck consists of blue, black, white, and red, and it is consistently, mathematically known as the best deck in the competitive format.
Ah,
Yeah.
so so
Um,
so you'll say that that's kind of the meta that people will run, right? If they want to win, this like this is what I should be doing, right? Is what you're saying.
Yeah, but there's also so many other fascinating pilots who stick to what they love, and that works too. Like the Blue Farm's not the only deck winning tournaments. We recently had a very massive competitive tournament win with a commander known as Itali, which is basically like a giant roulette machine, but the deck is built to ratio your luck in a sense, where it's like, oh, look, I can just copy the effect again. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, look, I can just keep copying the effect again. Let's keep on rolling. So it's non-deterministic, but boy,
Mm.
howdy, is it built to do a thing.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fun. And part of that's the fun of it, right? It's just kind of the luck of the draw because I mean, that's you can build these decks. I know that. I mean, you're talking 100 cards, and for those that don't play, I know it's 100 cards. You're not going to go through 100 cards in a game, right? You're only going to see what like not even half of those, depending on the deck, right? But some of those, it's like you might only see 20 cards that game, like if it goes quick.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've been in some games that end in about less than 5 to 10 minutes. We are packing it up like at turn three, where I've only played like maybe two lands, a couple of other spells, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Our competitive format has turbo decks, where the entire intent of the deck is just win as fast and as efficient as possible. If you can protect it or not is arbitrary. You just go for it.
You
Complete
just yeah.
gas, no breaks. And let me tell you, it works way more than what people would think.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's
You got to
good
know
stuff.
what you're doing though. You definitely got to know what you're doing,
Yeah,
but
that's
whew.
wow, that's good. But like what a fun format just to kind of reward that kind of creativity, right? Because the for those that maybe don't know, right, that are new to Magic, because like I said, coming from this podcast is probably mostly going to be video gamers like myself. But so now I understand that, creating your own deck, right? There's a wild amount of cards out there that you can pull from, right? Couldn't even tell you what, thousands, I'm sure at least, like
Tons, way yeah,
yeah,
hundreds of thousands, if not more.
hundreds of thousands. Crazy.
Yeah.
So talking about kind of the video game side of it, because I understand that there's also MTG Arena, right?
Yes.
And is that something you're familiar with, and how is that different?
Absolutely. I play Arena all the time. Well, not all the time anymore. I'm spending most of my days editing, but when I get a chance to breathe, yeah, I'll hop on Arena. So, MTG Arena, Magic the Gathering Arena, is your virtual platform to play the Magic the Gathering standard format. Your standard format consists of the most recent blocks of Magic the Gathering cards that have come out and have been created for the standard format. What makes this different is Commander is a four-player free-for-all with 99 cards, being your commander is 100, or your decks could be at 98 cards because you have two commanders, where standard is 60 cards. You can run up to four copies of a card unless a ruling says otherwise. 60 cards is the minimum. I believe that's also the maximum in some specifics of standard. And it's just a 1v1 game. There's no talking, there's no politics, there's no making deals, which is a common thing even in casual EDH or casual commander, I should say. That's just how it's better known.
Yep.
There's just no talking. It's just like, do you have the stuff to beat me? No. GG, shake my hand. Let's move on.
Wow. So that's interesting because the standard format and I'm familiar at least with both formats, and so I guess with MTG Arena, so for those that are the video gamers like myself, is there a format for Commander digitally?
Kind of. So Arena offers a sub format, well, not sub format, just a different kind of commander called Brawl. It is a 1v1 commander format, and the card pool is not as big. It's basically every card that has come out since the origin of Magic Arena. So the most you're going to get when it comes to playing Commander virtually is there is a software called Cockatrice, which is virtual, named after the mythical creature. I believe the chicken with the snake tail.
Yep.
Uh, for everyone who wants to play like virtual Commander, there's that. There is Magic Online, which is a very simple browser way of playing Magic the Gathering. You can play Commander on that as well. It's all text based. So I believe you just have to like type out your politics or just let cards ride. But then there's webcam Magic the Gathering. During the dark times of COVID, some brilliant individuals created the website Spell Table, which is a browser UI to play Magic the Gathering over webcam. You just point your webcam down at the table, put your cards on the table, and now you're playing with anyone, anywhere around the world, anytime.
Okay. So yeah, I can
Hmm.
definitely see that. So I want to say, and I'll speak for myself a little bit here too. It's like Magic is massive, right? There's so many like between rules and keywords and all the different things the cards can do. So for those that learning, and I'll again speak for myself, like trying to play in this kind of casual format at least first to try to figure things out. There's certain rulings that come up that, I'm no rules lawyer. I don't have access to a rules lawyer. Yeah, judges are more than that. We understand. But but if I have a question, I'm like, well, maybe I can use something like Arena to like make it do the thing I want to just to see how the interaction works. The trouble I have with that is that Commander again, is not all the cards is supported. And in addition, the just the simple fact of trying to be able to, craft the situation where the cards would interact, right? There's no sandbox version of Arena, I assume or understand.
Unfortunately, as far as I know, I don't believe so. Based off my time playing Commander, I haven't found any system that would use some kind of computer AI like protocol to judge what you're doing is the rules or not. Like Arena can stop you from doing certain things. It doesn't have to explain as to why, but
Mhm.
if like for example, you try to play a second land after you played your first land. It's not going to tell you why you can't play the second land. It's just a rule of the game. Unless something says otherwise, you can only play one land per turn. Um, so I haven't come across anything like that. However, Magic has been around for a long time. Almost every situation you can think of has been played out, asked about online, and has been given an answer by a judge or someone who's just vastly experienced in the situation. So if you can't recreate it in Arena, I know for myself, I have Googled all types of card interactions. Like, does it work like this? Does it work like that? Just yesterday, actually, I was playing some Magic the Gathering where a card said put uh the countered card into play after a few turns. And I thought to myself, is it actually coming into play or is it being recasted? The card says put into play, but what does it actually mean? After
Mhm.
doing some research online, it actually is the rule behind it is it's being recasted. Which was important for the situation
Mhm.
because we had rules on the table from other cards that state you can't cast stuff from any other source other than your hand. And the card was being casted out of a zone in our game known as Exile, which
Mhm.
is a zone outside of the game state, basically.
Yeah.
So couldn't be done. Now, if it was just coming directly into play, different story. But we had to go look that up. Sure enough, that was the case.
Right. And I think that's encouraging for those listening, those watching, is that there there's so many rules for Magic the Gathering. If you're getting into it, I think it's a wonderful game. I definitely recommend, even for like the more casual people like myself. And understanding that even, competitive level players still have to look up rules for certain things and certain card interactions because there is so much and so many different interactions that, how certain things work is just it takes a little bit of finesse and a little bit of help just even online to kind of figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's very, very true. I had an old friend who would call our game stores to ask questions on our game nights. She's like, you have anyone there who knows how this would work?
That's great. Just at some point, just call and ask the experts, right? So
Absolutely.
fantastic. Well, gosh, Frank, I know we could talk about this for hours, I'm sure. So I'll definitely be respectful of time. And as we wind down this particular episode of Game Your Future, I want to make sure we haven't missed anything. So when it comes to the community building, and just kind of making sure to support your community, what would you say to the audience as far as like, anything we've missed, as far as like making sure that you're supporting your communities if they're making their own?
Hmm. Well, when it comes to making your own, be frequent at your game stores that are hosting any kind of local Magic events. If your local game stores aren't running Commander nights, ask them if they can. See if there's anything you can get into when it comes to playing Commander, or even starting that first step yourself. Creating a Discord has also proven to be very successful for a lot of content creators and community creators in the Magic the Gathering format. Not just for Commander either, for all our formats. Especially because, at the end of the day, there's going to be some people out there who either just don't have game stores in their area or their game stores just don't have enough people asking for Commander. With that being said, reach out to your cohorts online. There are tons of people and many different ways to play this game. Don't let anything stop you. Commander's tons of fun, whether it's casual, competitive. It's been my favorite game to play for years. And if you want to play, make sure it's happening no matter what. It's the best time I've ever had in a long, long time.
That's great. I love that. Thank you so much for that, Frank. And guys, definitely check it out because it is definitely a lot of fun, and you get to connect with fellow gamers and just kind of share this this fun experience. Love it. Absolutely. So gosh, Frank, this has been fantastic. So Frank the Wizard, where can we find out more about you and Big Guava Gamers?
Absolutely. Our main platform right now is YouTube. If you look up Big Guava Gamers on YouTube, you will find us there on all our video content. In fact, if you are local to the Tampa Bay area or close to Tampa in Florida, we are running a free to enter proxy friendly. So, you can create or print out cards using the proper Wizards of the Coast art to compete in our Free the Squee tournament. It's coming up October 11th, starting at 10 a.m. at M&M Video Games. I can send the link to the tournament page to our good friend here. Same thing for the YouTube channel. That's where you'll be mainly seeing our updates. We do have a Twitter. We are working on creating Instagram, TikTok, all other platforms, but the biggest ones are going to be YouTube and topdeck.gg.
Perfect. Gosh, thank you so much, Frank. It's been fantastic. So definitely check out Frank the Wizard, Big Guava Gamers, and we'll have the links for you guys down in the description. So you can definitely check that out. So gosh, this has been so much fun. So Frank, I do have one final question before we go. And those that have watched the podcast know. So I always ask, so this is pertaining to video games specifically. So what is your favorite video game?
What is my favorite video game? Oof, boy, howdy. That is a tough one. That's definitely a tough
I
one.
always save the hardest question for last.
Yeah, that honestly has been the hardest question that you have asked me. Gosh. Well, I'd have to think about the games that I have spent most of my life playing, outside of Magic the Gathering, of course, and I'd have to combine that with the games that have given me the most enjoyment. So I'd have to put two up on there. Unfortunately, I cannot
Okay.
give you
All
one.
right. So
For my time
first question.
playing For my time as a PC gamer growing up, I played a lot of World of Warcraft and I had a lot of beautiful memories playing World of Warcraft. So, as cringy as that is to say, my favorite computer game is World of Warcraft. That's the hill I'm dying on.
Yep.
World of Warcraft is every time I've ever played it with my friends, it's always been the best time ever. And when it comes to console gaming, I'd have to give it to Street Fighter. Before I was a competitive Magic the Gathering
Ah,
player, I was a competitive Street Fighter player. I'll live by Zangief and I'll die by Zangief. Grapplers for
Zangief,
life.
nice.
Grapplers for life. I will grapple you.
That's awesome. I don't
Oh
meet too
yeah.
many Zangief players, so that's super fun.
Oh no, I will plant you like a tree if you're not careful.
Oh, I love it. And I love that kind of the competitive Street Fighter into the competitive Magic. That's yeah, very easy jump there, I'm sure. It's
The fighting game community has what's driven my energy as a commander player. Magic the Gathering is very much like professional chess. I am looking at this at rock star levels. You will notice our gameplay videos, I put tons of energy, tons of extra editing into them. There is a difference between CEDH content and super CEDH content, and the difference is presentation. Megamind's a good movie. I don't care.
I love Megabyte. No, it is such a good movie. Presentation. I love it.
100%. As you see our future gameplay videos, you are going to notice that, oh, wow, they're not just putting card images up on the screen. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I've watched that content for years and I'm going to continue to do so. But if there's one thing I've noticed is our format is lacking pizzazz. It's lacking the magic. It's lacking that wow factor in our gameplays. I'm
Oh,
looking to throw that into the ring.
I love that. That's and how ironic that the format is missing the magic when it's literally called Magic, the Gathering.
That's just my opinion. I'm
That's
sure
just
there's a
fair.
lot of
Yeah,
people who see what
I
I'm
love that
doing
you're
going,
putting the
what is
magic in
this?
Magic the Gathering, right? That's the key.
I'm doing everything I
We
can.
are talking to Frank the Wizard, guys. So I just want to remind you guys. So there you go. So
That's
Frank the
me.
Wizard putting magic in the Magic the Gathering. So guys, Frank, thank you so much for being here. This has been so much fun. And guys, and remember, if you want to get into Magic the Gathering, if you want to look up, some information on it, definitely check out Frank the Wizard and Big Guava Gamers. And if you're looking to try to use that gaming knowledge, that gaming skill, and really leveling up your life, definitely check out my website, dragonmorexp.com. We'd love to start the journey with you there today. So, guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Frank. This has been fantastic.
Hey, Danny, man, thank you for having me. If I can do it, you can do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Make it happen.
Love it. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the
Take
next one.
care. Stay awesome.